Today's episode is brought to you by Marvell Creative Agency. Marvell, based in Evansville, specializes in software as a service and mobile apps. If you have a great idea for an app and need product, business, or software development, then contact Marvell at marv311.com. That's MARV311.com. Mention Evansville Podcast and receive 2 hours of free consultation. Welcome to Evansville Podcast. My name is Jason Burton. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening. On today's episode, I'm speaking with Evansville native Michael Barber. Michael is a musician, rapper, hip-hop producer, entrepreneur, and all-around good guy. He joined me a little bit back in February. We're releasing this now because he has a new album along with Matty Mo, Bloomington rapper Matty Mo, coming out on March 17th. So check that out. It's called Deadly Combo. And so I talked with Michael about that, about performing, writing, recording, and also his experience with Death Row Records. Michael has some roots with Death Row and has some interesting stories with Wu-Tang Clan, all sorts of things. So yeah, he's been away from the area for a few years, but it sounds like he's heading back. So if you see him around, make sure you say hey and welcome him back and show him all the cool stuff that's been happening since he's been gone. So thanks for listening, like I said, and if you want to check out any of the notes for the show for links to his site, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, go to evansvillepodcast.com/Michael Barber. Thanks and enjoy the show. All right, Michael Barber, welcome to the show.
Here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks. So you're from Evansville originally, yes. But you don't live here anymore. You've moved where it's warmer.
Absolutely, yes.
And then you're enjoying the the nice winter weather we have.
I am. I'm actually in the middle of moving back here though.
Oh, okay.
To this area, so I'm trying to get reacquainted. I've been gone for about 17 years.
Oh, wow.
So I'm coming back. Yeah, family here and stuff.
Yeah. Does it feel like 17 years or? Man,
it went by very quickly.
Yeah. Well, you've done some things. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, if we want to kind of get into that, you're I don't know if you even have official titles, but like there's a hip hop artist, producer, just entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, right?
I'm just a go getter. Yeah. A rapper, I guess, hip hop artist,
okay.
Producer. Just been in and out of music that whole time I've been gone, really. Yeah.
And you were, like we said, you kind of grew up in Evansville, went to, was it Harrison? Is that right?
I graduated from Harrison. I went to Memorial and Harrison, so
cool.
Kind of went to both Catholic school
side
and then graduated from Harrison.
Okay.
A long time ago.
I know. Well, let's not talk about a long time ago.
I know, right?
I can beat you on a long time ago. But so it's cool. Just doing a little research, and so you're I guess, is it officially the last artist that was signed by Death Row Records?
The last solo artist signed to Death Row or group, anything.
Yeah.
Before they went bankrupt the second time with Wide Awake, signed me, and then they actually went bankrupt, and now E1 owns them.
Okay.
Which is who does like the Twilight movies.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that, but they're not putting out any. They actually own my album that I turned into them. They put out like the Twilight movies, and they're gonna put out like, all the old Snoop stuff and Dr. Dre and Tupac that they own. So they'll still put those out.
Okay.
And get royalties from that. And then my album that I turned in, which ended up being only 8 songs that they own, like it'll get put in with those. With some of the movies that they do, if they want to pick out of it, so I could possibly get placed with movies.
Okay.
But it's
interesting.
It's one of those things where like they're not going to put out the album, but they still own those rights because of what I signed. Okay. I had turned in something right when it happened. They went into bankruptcy with Wide Awake, so it was like, it's a story of my life, I guess. But it just happens to me.
Wow. So they still own those songs.
Yeah, a couple songs, yes.
But then you've got a new album coming out.
Working on a couple things, yes.
Okay.
Working on a joint album with a kid from Bloomington.
Mm-hmm.
He goes by Matty Mo. I've known him a long time. Very talented artist. And he wanted me to produce his album a while ago. I started working on it, started getting in features, started producing it, and then it just kind of became a joint thing. Mm-hmm. So it's called Deadly Combo, and it's both of us. It's kind of like an Indiana album. It talks a lot about Indiana, which I talk a lot about when I write and put stuff out.
Yeah.
But, so, and that's coming out on March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. And there's, because on Twitter, you're Irish Jesus.
Oh, yeah, the Irish Jesus.
So it's Jesus, my fault.
No, you're fine. That's actually, my mom would call me that sometimes, joking around. She said, "Oh, you're the Irish Jesus," just joking around when I had longer hair.
Oh, okay.
And it was just kind of an inside thing. So then we started playing it, saying the Irish Jesus.
That's
just
nice.
To be funny.
Yes. So I didn't know if there was a connection with the St. Patrick's Day release and being the Irish.
Kind of. There is. Matt's Irish. And, we've actually both been to Ireland, and we were kind of like, well, let's just do it then. It's supposed to come out on Halloween. We're still figuring it out, getting some guitars laid for it and stuff. It has a lot of features on it, and we're still trying to clear a feature for it.
Oh, okay.
So it's like we're on the last minute, like, let's just put it out. So it if we don't get the feature in time, who cares? Let's just put it out.
Right.
So it's coming out.
One of the questions I did have, because it's always interesting to me, it seems like more rap side than I don't know, pop or rock or whatever. It seems to be there's more collaborations, more like this song featuring this person, featuring this person. So how does that kind of come about? And I mean, where do you how do you get those connections to these people? Right,
that's a good question. I think you're right that it does happen more in hip hop. That's a good point. As far as me, I'll do other stuff in the industry. I'll do I'll do booking if I have to. I'll do a little bit of publicity if I have to, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's how I really started getting into the game. I'll do some engineering if I have to, produce for somebody. Yeah. And I start to meet people like that. And I think that's what really opened up the doors for me to meet people. And as far as why hip hop has collaborations, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know why it has. It is true though that I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it's just out there more because it's a voice. Like if I went and got like Slash, I might not. He's playing guitar, so it might not be as advertised because anybody can play guitar maybe. But since it was hip hop, it's your voice. You have to kind of lift it out in front more. Because I mean, a lot of times you see it in rock, but it's kind of like, oh, I didn't know that he had so and so play guitar on this.
Yeah, and maybe that's just an awareness thing. Yeah, we just don't know that. Somebody's playing somewhere that
you find out later. Yeah, because it's their voice.
Right.
It's
more distinguished. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to put it out there. Maybe. I mean, I'm not for
sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
What? That's a good question. Wish I had the answer. I really
don't. I think that it just may be an awareness thing, but it might be the voice. That makes a lot of sense because if somebody plays drums on a
you might not know
on a track, later. Might not know unless I'm really into that drummer. Right. I probably know. But
absolutely.
But yeah, it's one of those things. So you mentioned producing. So on the production side, how's that different than? I guess what does that involve usually?
Well, production is making the track, making the music, which is something that I really, I've always tried to do and really enjoy. What does it involve? I mean, it just involves pretty much like if you tell me to turn up a snare, then you should get a production credit on that track. Like I mean, that's a fact. Like you should, you might not, but I think that's what I try to do more is get into the production side of it because I really got away from being a like the main artist. I got away from music for about a year. I just stepped away from it, and I kind of got drawn back into the production side of it. I was always doing production, but I stepped away from it after the Death Row stuff, and I got frustrated with a lot of things, and then I just felt like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And I got drawn back in the production side. And that's where I really felt like I was like really doing. I've always done production. Yeah. But that's where I think like my future is as far as being a producer instead of. I mean, I always rap. That'll always be something I always do. Right. But I think that it's just as far as making the tracks and making the music and figuring out where the guitar goes and where the or whatever the synth or whatever noise I'm picking out for that day, I sample a lot, and I sample off of cassettes, which a lot of people do vinyls, and I do cassettes, and I do stuff like that. I started out doing like DVDs and VHS, but now I do cassettes, and that's just what I sample. It's just one of those things. I try to be a little bit different.
Okay.
And it's just what I do. Yeah, I really got away from it for about a year.
Yeah. So, sounds like you enjoy that. One of my questions was gonna be like, what do you enjoy more, the production, the performing, or the writing of the songs? And
they're all different.
Yeah.
They're all so different, and it's like, and you really have to, like, a lot of people don't think about it, but to really, if you're gonna write your own stuff, you really have to go to somewhere else and write and be alone and kind of be, introverted. And then when you perform, you got to be extroverted. You got to go out there and you got to put on a show. And it's like, and I've toured all over the country and played shows all over. And I got tired of that. I got burned out on it. I really did. Opening for people or just doing my own thing. It's just a long haul, especially as an independent artist trying to make it. And you don't know where you might have to stay at that night. You might have to stay with some groupies, or you might have to stay at a hotel. I mean, it's just how it is. And the whole touring thing, it really burned me out, touring for so long and doing it on the road. And it's hard because you have to get up there in front of people. You have to put on a show every single night. Yeah. And you don't know who's going to be there. It could be 20 people. It could be 2,000. So it's and you have to entertain people. And it's two extremes, as far as for me, anyways. Yeah. As far as writing, you want to be by yourself and writing or producing by yourself, to going in front of a stage in front of all these people and trying to put on a show. It's two extremes. Yeah, like the writing process, do you like to do the words first, the music first, or is it all in your head? It just depends. Like I write every day in a notebook. Okay. Now it's on my phone, which is, so I write on my phone, and I'll do song ideas, and then I'll kind of go to the production. I'll kind of like start playing with, maybe I could make this into that, and I'll go back to it. So it's kind of both, but I do write every day. Which I can't say I make music every day. I just don't have the time for it. Yeah. I wish I did. Oh, yeah. But writing every day, that's, you've probably got like thousands of ideas. Yeah, my notebook, it's crazy. I have so many notebooks, and I never throw any of them away. Yeah. Like we're moving, my wife's like, what are we going to do? No, we got to take them. Just so many. Literally probably 100 notebooks filled with stuff over the last 10 years. That's awesome. So from when you began to now, like, what's been the biggest change you've seen the way that you have the record store in your pocket. Yeah. It's changed so much. I remember being a kid, and you probably do too, going to a record store and, like, just going there and looking at all the tapes or CDs, and, I might be able to get one. Mm-hmm. My dad like, you can buy one. And I'm looking at which one should I get. You got Pink Floyd, Nirvana, and you're like, oh, man, maybe Sublime. I don't know what to get. And then it's like, okay, I'm gonna get this one. You might make a bad choice. You might be like, and that's it. That's it. And now it's like you can just go on YouTube and just listen to whatever you want, anywhere. And that's crazy to me. Yeah, I was talking with somebody last night about that, about how we used to have to buy. You get the whole album, and I'm kind of like that still, where I want the whole. I only know the one song, and I want that song, but I kind of want the whole album for that experience, which is probably not the normal anymore. Oh no, yeah, exactly. Like my sister-in-law, she's 16. She didn't know what an album was. Right. And I'm like, or I think she's 17 now, but when she was 16, 15, I was like, what do you mean you don't know what an album is? Like when you buy it, she's like, because she just buys singles. Yeah. Or ringtones, and it's just like, wow. And you hear it on your phone. Like my daughter listened to it just on the speaker on her phone. I'm like, that's not how it was supposed to. And that's been the biggest change for me. It's just so different. I don't even think record stores are, they're going extinct. They are, but we still have some that are good. Even here in town, but it's crazy. It is weird because whenever you put together an album, are you looking for like an overarching theme? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you have a flow to it that you want to, like this song is in this order for a reason, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that gets lost on some. It doesn't even matter anymore, and they just want the single, and it's like, well, I don't want to sit down and formulate something and make it just sound like a single so kids can buy it, but then, I'm working on a whole project here, and they don't even know what an album is. Yeah, so different. Funny. My business cards are, they look like cassettes. Okay. And
So my daughter, when I first showed her that, she's like, "Is that a record?" And I'm like,
is that a record?
No.
Wow.
But I taught her since then.
Okay.
But so you mentioned you've been you toured all over, and you've lived away from here. So how has Evansville changed since you've been back here a little bit, visiting back here, and you talk about moving back? How has it changed since you've been gone?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I have that answer either, because it's still Evansville, it's still home to me. Like I grew up here, my family's here. I have some good friends that are here, but I don't know. That's a good question. I wish I could see it. I know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I just like, is there something maybe a better question is that something you've seen or that you've had that you kind of wish Evansville had, or you think it would be good for us maybe?
Well, there's a lot that I think Evansville needs.
Yeah.
I mean, just having a scene, kind of like, I lived in Louisville for a long time, and just how they have that music scene and that art scene would be really good over here for the youth, I think, to have that. Robert Stadium was, when they tore that down, was big for me. I didn't want to see that happen. Now they have the stuff downtown. I don't know. I mean, how is that going in your opinion, since you live here and you live kind of downtown?
Yeah, well, downtown has definitely hit kind of a resurgence for sure. There's a bit of like a movement, I guess, of stuff going on. There's some, an art scene that's coming up. There's some music, but it's getting that word out to the extreme sides, I guess. The east sides, the west sides, kind of thing. But yeah, there's some good stuff going on. Like PG has a lot of young music that's going on a lot, so that's been an interesting place. And then the arts district down here they're starting to do a lot more. So I think we're on our way, but yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done.
But I mean, have you seen like the resurgence? Have you seen it? Like, I mean, you said you have, but I mean, you think it's really coming? And
I think there's a long way to go.
Right.
And I think it's more of an awareness issue. Because I think there's a lot of talented people in the area, and I'm just now learning about them.
Right.
And before I started this podcast, really, I had zero idea that anything was going on. Right. So I don't know where the disconnect is on getting the word out, because everyone tries their the different mediums. We go on TV, they go on the radio, they go on the newspaper, they go on whatever. But there's just some sort of disconnect somewhere.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so trying to figure that out.
Yeah, that's real interesting.
Yeah, but there's super talented music for sure in the area. Like a band like Osceola, I don't know if you're familiar, but they're, we just saw them play over at Casey's Timeout Saturday, and they were killing it. And the crowd, there's a big crowd there, but then there's other people like yourself that has zero idea about this band, and they've toured. They were over in Iceland touring, and just they've been around everywhere. But it's just the weird thing. I don't know if it's Evansville, our over humility that we have, where we can't think anything good can come out of here, or if it's just a lack of awareness, or what it is. So yeah, it's a good. That's a whole can of worms we can talk about. But and how have you felt? You think that inside Evansville versus outside Evansville, the awareness of you, is it?
It's bigger great, outside,
right?
It's always been like that,
right? And I've heard that from there's some artists here that they make these items based on there's like two of them. One of them does a print, or he'll do the art, and then the other person will put it on like a chair or fabric or something like that. Yeah. So they're bigger outside of the area than inside the area, and not a lot of people know about it. And it's like, why is it that we have to go outside of our home, so to speak?
That's a good question. Maybe with all of this, stuff starting to happen, it'll start to happen here. I wish it would. Yeah,
and I think that's just. I think there's definitely a group of people that want to get the word out and do that. So it just takes time, but I don't have the answer.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, but so you say Death Row Records seems like a big deal, when you're on there. But I had not heard anything about it until I think I started following you on Twitter maybe last year, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So awareness was kind of in that range. But like I said, I was out of the loop anyways.
Well,
But,
yeah, I mean, that's interesting, though. But, yeah, I mean, and plus Death Row, I mean, they're a 90s label. So it's kind of a little bit older thing.
It's older, but I'm older.
True, so am I. So, I mean, it was a big deal to me from where I come from to get on there. But I don't know, maybe it's, we got to figure out how to centralize everything and then get it out instead of trying to get it in and then out. Everything's got to come in and go out.
Mm-hmm.
But
maybe
I mean, from being away from Evansville and as a comeback, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I think needs to be done. I think a lot of people here in Evansville don't know that Evansville could be special. They kind of look at other cities and try and. There was a long time, and a lot of people in Evansville were saying we could be like another city in Michigan. Was it Grand Rapids?
Yeah,
they kept saying, "Oh, we can be the next Grand Rapids," and it was like, "Why? We can be the first Evansville." And really, why do you want to be like? I don't even know anything about Grand Rapids. It was not to knock them, but it was like, what are we looking at? Why are we looking at this city? Was there a reason for that?
I think it was more, from what I understand. I think it's a size, thing where, and they had done some. I know there was some article about it, but I cannot remember. I'll try to find it.
Oh, maybe you heard that before, though.
I have heard that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that. We're very, like uniquely positioned in between a lot of big cities.
Right.
We've got all this, we have the new interstate, and that'll hopefully help, bridge some stuff between here and Bloomington and in Indianapolis. And then if we can get it across the border.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That could help open up stuff too. But there's some work to be done.
There is, and I think it was this podcast I was listening to. You guys were talking about how everybody in Evansville talks about, we're only 3 hours from here and 3 hours from here. And it's like we're in the, but nobody ever says, well, was it this podcast I was listening to, and you guys were talking about, like, we're only 2 hours in Nashville and 3 hours. But it's like, you don't ever think about Evansville. It's like, we always talk about the cities that you're close to.
Right. So why doesn't Nashville say, hey, we're only 2 hours from Evansville?
Yeah.
Right. Well, one day.
One day, yeah. One day maybe. I mean, it would be cool to get that going, especially now that I'll be back here. And, I have a son now.
Yeah.
So and you have kids, and as you do that, you kind of like, you're like, what can we do to help them have it, a little bit better?
Right. Because, it's like, well, either we're going to help get it better or we move away. I don't want to just complain about it and just be what it is. It's like, well, if I'm not going to complain about it. We're just going to do something about it.
Exactly. That's what people have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's this younger than me generation, at least. They kind of have that in them. Oh. So I think, at least for now.
Yeah, hopefully it'll stick.
Yeah, hopefully the weight of the world doesn't get to them like
absolutely
like it does to some.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there are real issues in the world, but yeah. So, what was I going to say? So the Death Row thing. So is that where the connection with Wu-Tang comes in, or is it separate?
Thing.
Okay,
that's a separate thing.
Okay.
I've actually known the Wu-Tang for a long time. I've been trying to do Street Life. Who's Method Man? He's like Method Man's best friend. Hype Man travels with him. I've been trying to do his solo album for about 10 years. And we've been trying to put it together, and we had like 5 tracks done. One of them's going to be on this release coming up.
Nice.
But I've been trying to do his first solo album for so long. And we actually went to Koch, back when it was Koch. They're with E1 now, I believe. I think they got bought out. We went to Universal and got some money, and we're going to put it out on Universal. And we have never got to do his debut album, Street Life. And with Mathematics, he's the official DJ of the Wu-Tang. I've done a mixtape with him. I've known those guys for a long time, about 10 years. You meet them just doing shows and here and there. But no, it comes from a different side. And they're more the New York Avenue and stuff like that. They're really, really cool guys. But no, it doesn't come from the Death Row thing. And I've just known them for a long time and been working with them for a long time. That's
cool. Yeah, back when we were, I want to say it was maybe college or right out of college, and they put out those kung fu videos. Yeah. And I was like, that is amazing. I don't know.
They love the kung fu stuff.
They've always been on my radar since then. So it was just odd to see it because I'm like, I love kung fu. So anything to get that in there. Oh crap! I lost my train of thought with when you bring up Wu-Tang.
I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. So yeah, you'd mentioned before, it was a big deal to get on this. Was a nice. So who were your the people you grew up on that you think influenced you with music wise?
I mean, I was all over the spectrum. I listen to everything. I still do.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as just hip hop, of course I listened to Snoop and those people.
Right.
I mean, everybody did. It was just that was popular music.
Yeah.
Well, in the 90s, but I listened to a lot of rock, a lot of classic rock and stuff like that. The Doors. I really liked the Doors when I was younger. Jim Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all over the place. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I still listen to a lot of them. And that's how it is now. And like I said, you have a record store in your pocket, and also you have so many people can tell you a new song can come out, and you might not even know about it now, and then somebody will tell you about it, and it's kind of like word of mouth. You find your new favorite artist that a lot of people don't even know about, and so I think that's really cool. But I didn't really have. I listened to a lot of the mainstream stuff as a kid,
mm-hmm.
just how you naturally do it because it's all you really know. And then, and then like I said, I listened to a lot of rock, a lot of classic rock at the time. So I didn't really have the big. Of course, you knew what Death Row was, and you knew about reading magazines about the East Coast West Coast beef and stuff like that, Biggie versus Tupac and all that, and
mm-hmm.
you kind of pick a side as a kid, and I was. And I really respect Tupac as an artist. I mean, you got to think he died at 25 years old.
Yeah.
And the stuff
That's
that
crazy.
he did before, he had 7 major albums or whatever, all the movies he did, book of poetry, before he died.
Huh.
It's all the movies, it's just man, this guy did so much before 25. It's wow, maybe I didn't do enough with my life. I mean, really, because that's a short amount of time. And he didn't come out as a kid artist.
Right.
He came out when he was 17, 18. So it's wow, in that 7 years, he really did a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of music to come out in a short amount of time. Because I mean, and everybody's different, I guess, on how they make music. But it takes a while to put together an album because you can't just throw some stuff out and it's right.
I mean, everything I've read about him is he would just go in the studio for days and days and just rap. And that's why so much stuff came out after he died.
Yeah.
Because they had so much of him rapping, they just put beats to it.
Okay.
And make it like that. And he would just go in there for days at a time and just, and do it. But still to put it out on a major level like he did at the time period. And the movies and, he was doing so much.
It's insane. So making music, one thing I did want to ask you is the age we live in, right, internet age, where you're able to collaborate probably a lot easier. You don't have to be in the same room, right?
Absolutely.
Is that how you find it? You mainly just kind of by yourself and this person just does something and sends it to you? Is that how it works?
Yeah, a lot of times it would be like that. Especially with this album, with Matt that we did, this Deadly Combo album. He came down and stayed with me for about a week on the beach and we recorded a lot of stuff. And then he left, and I could just sit there and work on it.
Mm-hmm.
I had all his verses, kind of like, Tupac coming in. I would just have him rap when he was, whatever state of mind he would be in. And I kind of worked on it. So, yeah, I mean, and with email and stuff, you can just be anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the guys from Wu-Tang, Mathematics did some cuts on this album. And, I would just send him the track, and he would just scratch on it and send it back. And be like, no, I'll do it a little bit different. And he would just, do it on his own time frame, no rush, take his time and just do it. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting that you can do it like that and you couldn't do it like that before. And it's awesome that you can do that. Yeah,
because, you can live wherever.
Yeah, wherever you want. You can live in Evansville,
Yeah, and there's definitely, there's some of them learning. There's some rappers that live here and they're, successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's another one of those things where I don't know, I'm living under a rock or something. Musically, I had no idea there was such good stuff until I start opening my eyes and ears, I guess.
Absolutely.
But they're, quite talented. Well, I appreciate you coming over. I don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I really love the podcast. I wish more people would tune in. I don't know how many people listen to it, but I definitely believe
2 or 3.
No. Well, now you got 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Sweet.
But
That's all I want.
I think you do a great job of showcasing the talent here and just everything. I think it's a great thing for the city.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to March 17th, this album.
Yeah, I'll definitely send you a copy of it.
Oh, thank you. It's called, is it called Deadly Combo?
Deadly Combo,
yeah. Okay.
It's with myself and Matty Mo.
Matty Mo.
Yeah, and it's going to get put out for free that day. And then it's going to get thrown back out through Universal sometime. Because I'm going to have more info coming out later. Don't mean to take up too much time. But
you're
my label with LRT and Rick Ross Music Group is going to form. And I'm going to put this back out on Universal. So if Universal Distribution, hopefully when I'm in Evansville, and I can sign some Evansville artists and put them out on Universal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yes.
Well, very cool. It was great for you. It was great to have you stop by. And,
thanks for having me.
I really do. I appreciate you coming over. So thank you.
Okay.
Thanks again to Michael for coming on the show. Definitely check out the album that's released on March 17th, Deadly Combo. And thanks to Marvell Creative Agency for sponsoring the show. Go to marv311.com and tell them the Evansville Podcast sent you. And as always, good job, everybody.